Man, Eddie Guerrero is literally folklore in wrestling. This guy was universally adored, and I mean rightfully so. Very few people ever captured everyone's imagination like Latino Heat did. This dude had it. So, in remembrance of the 20th anniversary of Eddie's horrifically untimely passing, we're gonna take a peek at all 24 unique attires of Eddie Guerrero throughout his career in gaming. Let's go. Kicking it off, we got WCW Nitro's attire, and this is a take on Eddie's WCW Mayhem appearance, sans the LWO shirt and adding incorrect wrist tape and boots. The boots are correctly striped in the back, but unfortunately added this weird coloring incorrectly. The whole look is just super underwhelming for such a pillar of Lucha Libre. Our runner-up for last place at 23 is WCW vs. The World, and this is insanely old school. Eddie in the singlet looked wild. This also starts our singlet speed round. The red shard decals here are super basic, but it's a clear building block of where we'd end up with his intricate tights in the WWE. The all-white boots are also seldomly seen for him. Like, this is a pretty plain, albeit not bad look for Latino Heat. We're quickly jumping into WCW World Tour now for 22. With this white singlet with black and red trim. As you can see, there's not a lot of huge departures in these singlet attires, but the red trim mixed with the black decals here just looks super weird to me. There's better ones to come. 21 brings us an updated looking vs. the World singlet, adding a white filler to the shard decals here. Like, this isn't bad. We're jumping all the way to SmackDown 2 here for a brief respite from the singlets at number 20, and this is, in my opinion, a butchered alteration of Eddie's Insurrection 2000 tights. And while I do appreciate the simplistic design, the burgundy here pops a lot, and I actually really appreciated the attention to detail with the wrist tape, elbow pads, and boots. SmackDown games would miss stuff like that all the time, as we're about to see. This was a nice starting point for Eddie though in the WWF games on the PlayStation. Like, we got a ways to go. 19 takes the list back to World Tour, and we got another reskin of the vs. the World singlet, but the gear here looks pretty sweet. This is a decent attire all things considered. And moving on, we got this LWO My Faction attire that I don't know was ever officially released. I mean, let me know below. Y'all know I don't touch the damn 2K games. It would be lame if they weren't in the attire rankings though. This is a retread of Eddie's WCW Mayhem attire that I mentioned prior to this, pretty much bar for bar, but I mean, the LWO shirt here is ridiculously hard. I actually had this shirt when I was in high school before the WWE rebooted the group, despite your boy ZM being the whitest man to ever exist. I don't know, I guess it's a cool design regardless. I really don't know what my thought process was looking like I do, but I did get compliments in school, so I guess it paid off for me. Despite that anecdote, this is a sick setup here. This is based on a random Nitro from '98, and the gold and red were nicely implemented here. The simple shards are really indicative of early Eddie, but this is a sweet costume. And we got my first ever time seeing Eddie Guerrero in a video game up next with JBI's attire. This is based on No Way Out 01, and man, this model is wonderful. But dear lord, where the fuck are Eddie's armbands and elbow pads? This shitty mistake was also carried over to Raw 1 on the Xbox, but the Latino Heat Classic Flames and back lettering debuting in this game was awesome. The boots are really on point as well. It's just a shame that there were oversights here because the tights are great. Just missing the top 16 is the super forgotten Christmas Eddie from WWE Mayhem, and my apologies for the footage quality here, but you couldn't pay me to play that game. The attire is super cute though and admirable of the dev team. They didn't need to add this at all, and the I'm Your Poppy Christmas sweater is really wholesome. The Mania 20 tights are also clean as always. I think this sweater isn't really based on anything. It's completely original, which is cool in a way, because I mean, any new Eddie content post-mortem is great. Except all that weird AI purgatory shit people have been posting lately. 15 brings us to this No Mercy purple alt, and I think this is kinda sweet. Despite the graphical clarity on these pixelated ass tights, the shards in this design look awesome as hell. The two-tone colors and accents pop really well, and this is just really cool considering how quickly it was made into Eddie's WWF run. We're heading into SmackDown Shut Your Mouth to take a look at Latino Heat's default red attire that spans from Backlash 01, and this is super on point. The wrist tape is after the JBI debacle, and the boots are beautiful. The red tights here along with the gold and black decals are just awesome, and the lettering on the back is pretty timeless. I mean, you can't go wrong with Eddie in the 2000s. Well, it's about time we get to Showdown Legends of Wrestling on the ZM channel, and dear God, this attire rules. There's 5 attires in this game in total, but unfortunately this is the only one unique to that game. It's inspired by SummerSlam 2000, and these orangey and gold yellow tights mixed with the boots and tape look wonderful. Shout out the copyright-free Eddie decal on the back, straying away from the classic Latino Heat banner. And before I move on though, I gotta address the elephant in the room. This is not my footage. And moreover, why is this the only footage that I can find of this attire in decent quality? Why would you make something like this and post it? Read the title of the video on screen. This is real, and it's not mine, and this is not okay. What the fuck, dude? Now that that is out of my system, number 12 brings us to WWE Mayhem for a pretty eclectic pick, being Halloween Havoc 99. This is an Eddie attire that's not as nearly fondly remembered, but I appreciate the inclusion here nonetheless. The clean ass color block look is pretty sweet, and the shards are still pretty basic, but the tape and boots tie everything together. I just like how cohesive and honestly prestigious this whole gold attire looks. All Stars is our next destination on the Eddie Guerrero video game attire ranking, and man, how did it take Ukes this long to include gray tights, Eddie? The gray 0203 tights were clean as fuck. The boots and tape are on point, and I mean the gray just really accentuates the gold and black decals here. Like, this is super underrated for him as a colorway. He always presented himself well. We finally made it to the top 10, and we're kicking it off with 2K24's Mania 20 attire. Eddie's iconic world title run being immortalized in a video game is awesome. And they even brought back the Scarface shirt, which really makes me want to buy that now. But I mean, these tights are the first edition of the cross design, and these are some hitters. The red flames are sweet, and the cross is super detailed and reflective. This was honestly a pretty bold departure from anything he had ever worn before, but it's pretty cool. I thought it really tied into Eddie's struggle through sobriety and faith that he mentioned in the promo before he won the title. Like, that's hard as fuck. We're jumping back into Shut Your Mouth for the black and gold alt from WrestleMania 17, and I'm guessing Ukes had an embargo on arm accessories for a few years because what the hell, y'all? Like, again with this shit? Despite the blatant inaccuracy though, these tights are super nice. I love the little hints of green hidden in there too. Like, this is a pretty sleeper costume for him for sure. Number 8 brings us all the way up to 2K22, the last WWE game that I sunk a lot of time into, and just seeing a really spot on 97 mullet Eddie from Halloween Havoc in HD really struck a chord with me at the time. Having to sit through his recycle being recycled for years and years on end, like, seeing this was super vindicating. The wrist tape, boots, and color block tights are wonderful. The red and black decals really differentiate themselves, and this is just super nostalgic and memorable for me. Eddie was a G. And I really didn't think Battlegrounds would have one of my personal favorite attires for me, but here we are. My apologies for the footage quality, but this is based on SummerSlam 05 and that car crash of a ladder match. This looks godly. The flames are so vibrant and appealing, and granted, the design is pretty simple compared to other tights of his, but the coloring here is impeccable, and it just works for me. This attire is also in Mayhem, if that means anything to you, but unfortunately in that game, Eddie is stuck in an outdated shirt. Just missing the top 5 is WrestleMania 19's attire based on the show itself, Mania 19. This is actually pretty awesome. I love a good pair of green pants, and these don't disappoint. The reflective decals are a bit dialed in for my liking, but the overall level of detail on the shards is great. The classic Latino Heat decal is still here, and the boots are still rocking. This is glorious. I like it a lot. Sometimes you gotta play the hits though, and WCW Revenge knew that full well. Eddie's default in that game is perfect for its time. The tights are his Halloween Havoc 97 ones that we've discussed to pieces already, but the real winner is the iconic merch shirt. Eddie Guerrero is my favorite wrestler. What a heel move, what a cool shirt, what a legend. Truly, this attire rules. And talking about hits, this number 4 entry was recycled for 15 years in the mainline games. I'm dead ass serious. From SVR05 to 2K22, we've had the same Eddie attire from Rumble 04 over and over and over. I've seen it so many times that I didn't even need to consult my notes for this part of the video. The green, gold, and blue shards are absolutely burned into my mind. The Latino Heat decal will live forever, and those boots are god tier. The 2K games even upgraded the fit by adding the Scarface tee. I mean, I do wish we got more variety for sure, but this attire definitely deserves its flowers. I can see why they wanted to recycle it. It's Big 3 time for Latino Heat's attires in gaming, and the bronze medal goes to the green alt in WCW Revenge. This is a completely original fantasy attire from the devs in Revenge, and I think it totally rules. It's a really cool spin on the Halloween Havoc tights, and the green base would have been super different for him at the time. I really wish these would have been made, because they look great. Our runner-up for the best Eddie Guerrero attire in gaming is the Here Comes the Pain default teal tights. These are ridiculously hard. That's such a crazy shade for tights, and I mean it's a bit off from its Survivor Series 03 inspiration, but I love the aesthetic here. There's also so much detail in the decals, and they just nailed all the accessories as well. I truly can't find a single flaw with this attire, but there's one that I enjoy even more. I truly, definitively think that the 2K22 Mania 21 attire is the best Eddie Guerrero attire in any game. The tights here are genuinely goated. They're ungodly intricate and immensely vibrant. The cross looks ridiculously tough, and I'm not even religious, it just looks cool. The Latino Heat lettering is holding it down, and the boots are still sick. Just truly, those flames in the awesome purple, green, and blue ombre is what pulls us together. It looks like an oil spill in the best possible way. Eddie was dripped out of his goddamn mind, and it's just a shame that he couldn't find Ray a mask that actually fit for that match. I appreciate your time and attention immensely. Eddie Guerrero was unfortunately just ever so slightly before my first cognizant memories of wrestling, but I have long since caught up on his career, and dear lord, this man left a legacy behind him. If I could touch the world with a fraction of the impact that he did, I'd be truly at peace with myself. This man broke down cultural barriers, overcame perceptions of what a luchador could do in the United States, and he became a legitimate hero. I'm immensely grateful for Eddie, and I would have loved to meet him. Take it easy, y'all.